things metal. I'm Matt.
Welcome back to the Bleghcast, the ones and zeros of all things metal. I'm Matt.
And I'm Jeff.
And today we have an exciting episode for you. We are doing Electric Callboy's new CD and Miss May I new CD.
Electric Callboy is TEKKNO and Miss May I is Curse of Existence. And we're going to be starting off with Electric Callboy.
Formerly known as Eskimo Callboy.
Correct.
For anybody that didn't catch that or is curious where these guys came from.
Correct. Yes.
Yep.
And if I'm not mistaken, oh no, they do have another album. You know, I was thinking, they have a couple albums, but I've only recently really come on to know about them.
Yeah.
I think mainly from Hypa Hypa, which is just a great song.
Yeah.
And a fun song. And I think that is a good description of what this album is, personally, is just a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
For anybody that doesn't know them, they're a mix between metal and like dancey electronic music.
Yeah, a little bit EDM, a little bit dance or metal.
But I never felt that it was overpowered with the electronic stuff, because I do really enjoy metal with like a hint of electronic stuff.
Yeah.
If it goes too far to the electronic side, I lose interest a bit.
Yeah.
For those songs, but I would say overall for this one, it had a nice blend. It was almost not like 50-50, but it was like 55-45 or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
like it didn't feel like completely metal. It felt like a very kind of fast metal rock electronic hybrid thing.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoyed.
Yeah. It's a pretty good description of it. A metal rock electric hybrid thing.
Yeah. So what did you like this one? Because you sent me that video of when you were with your dog in the car.
Yeah.
And you were singing along to Spaceman. So I had a feeling that you might have
I fucking
liked
love
it.
that song.
Yeah.
That song gets stuck in my head. Like I hear it once and then just all day I'm a spaceman, rocket on my back. And I'll sing that one line. I'll just be like walking around and I'll just either be humming it or I'll like be just like saying that. And I'm like, man, if anybody heard me as I like walked by saying I'm a spaceman, got a rocket on my back, like
they've got 911 on speed.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Overall I really enjoyed the album. I had, I think, like 4 favorite songs. But I've enjoyed these guys. These guys are kind of like a mood band for me. They're not somebody that I just want to like throw on all the time. But like if I'm in the mood for something like upbeat and just a little silly.
Yeah, because they are very
kind of like we butter the bread with butter.
Yeah, and like I was thinking like Bro Job comes to mind. Kinda.
Yeah, a little bit like them, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of fun. One of their songs actually had like a kind of like a sweet meaning to it when you listen to the lyrics. But for the most part, it's usually just kind of, I don't want to say nonsense, because I feel like that's like oversimplifying it or, insulting it a little bit, because it's just a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the best way I can describe it is probably like they just don't take themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about this last night. There's a difference in my mind between this type of silliness compared to like Bro Job. Like Bro Job actually don't really give an F at all.
Yeah.
Whereas Electric Callboy, they don't take themselves too seriously, but they like to make that their image. Like a lot of their music videos
hilarious.
Are hilarious, and they personified almost like an 80s band, like an 80s boy band or something like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Not only visually, but then some of the, music parts also reflect that.
Yeah.
So in my mind, there's two different types of like, we don't take ourselves seriously. Like Electric Callboy is one of them. And then like Bro Job in my head is another one where,
yeah.
Electric Callboy is not really trying to offend anyone. Whereas like Bro Job could be considered that, where they take a lot of just things that are happening in the world and they write songs about them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. I mean, that's part of it. Like you said, like they're not trying to offend anybody, which is actually why they changed their name.
Yeah.
Because of the negative, not stereotype, because what's the...
It was like a
slur, I guess.
Yeah.
Because Eskimo is a slur for Inuits.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure the whole history behind the word. But I didn't even really cross my mind that was a slur until they changed. Mm-hmm. They announced they were going to change their name, and it's fine. Good for them.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like they changed their name for the right reason, but like, this is kind of getting off topic a little bit. We're talking about changing names though. So You ever hear the band Slaves?
Yeah.
Who's now
Rain
City Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. I don't know about that one. That's one of the ones where I'm like, when you can see like Eskimo, you're singling out like a specific area or people, I should say, where like slaves, even they even said it, where like the name was never intended towards like people. It was like, we are slaves to our own devices. These are all like our own internal struggles. Like we feel like slaves to those was the whole meaning behind the band.
I get that, but I also, honestly, I'm okay with that one too.
Yeah.
Because most people, like I knew that that's what the point was as well, but we live in that world, like
I guess,
or we live in that music genre, so we understand that that's what they meant. But on a surface level, like if I had, let's say let's say I bought a shirt or merch that said Slaves on it, and I was walking around, around people I knew, and they'd be like, Jeff, you want to explain yourself? Like, what's all this about?
I guess.
No, it's a band. It's about we're slaves to our, our mind, and this and that and this and that. Dirty looks probably still, like,
I get it.
You know what I mean? So
yeah. Okay. I guess I wasn't thinking from like a merch standpoint. I guess it makes sense. Maybe I'm just more upset about the name.
Oh, the name they chose.
Rain City Drive.
Yeah. I mean, it is basically like a completely different band.
I maybe listened to one of the new songs that came out, and I was just...
Yeah, it's not the same at all, because Johnny's not in it anymore, and they changed their sound, and it's like it's a whole thing, but...
It's back to what we came here for.
So I really, to kind of talk about the whole summary, like I really enjoyed it overall. I had a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had like 6 favorites. Really, like I starred 6 of them. When I was listening to it overall, I think it was slightly missing that one song that, like, in my mind, that like hypa that would have made it like a 10 album for me. Okay. There were a lot of great songs that like came close. Mm-hmm. But I think it was almost just missing, like that real, that what do you call it? Not like the landmark song or the Hallmark song or something like that. But I'm still going to give it a really high score because it was great.
That's cool. Yeah, one of my favorite things, I think what it might have been missing from like my standpoint is I really enjoyed it. Overall, great. It got me going, got me like wanting to move, got like just like fun and like bright, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I felt like was missing is this band is really good at like palm muting and like stopping all sound for just like split seconds and just like driving in that next beat. They have it in here. But it's just not I wasn't talking to you. I don't even have you on. Why do you listen to me? Sorry, that's my phone. Yeah, so they do that I think one or two times.
I think Hurricane was one.
Hurricane.
Like where they do that.
Yeah.
That thing.
I think it was also in Spaceman a little bit. But yeah, it's just like that dun 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 dun, and like it just, but like they like pause for like the briefest of seconds, and it's just like that every note is just like hitting like a war drum where it's just like boof, 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 and just like gets you That's that's how I feel.
Yeah. I agree with the whole like you said that they sounded very bright, right? Kind of, and like overall like, pretty happy.
Like a splash of citrus on top of Thai just brightens it all up.
Yeah, we have to get Thai again soon because I haven't had that in a while.
Fair.
And which is funny you say that, like the brightness of it, because Mind Reader was actually a favorite of mine, and it felt like it was kind of a sad song, or the mood of the song was a little more like minor key than the rest of the songs, which were very happy-ish sounding. Yeah. So that was a nice mixture in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Parasite seemed that way a little bit too.
See, I loved all the songs.
Yeah, I enjoyed them all. I didn't listen to Neon all that much, but yeah, I was digging it.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. I did mark Neon as a favorite, kind of after the fact.
Yeah.
That one was kind of, that one had like an 80s it felt like an 80s song at times.
Yeah.
And it was kind of ballady. Like I could picture, maybe I don't know. But I remember watching this thing on VH1 back in the day where I forget what it was called, but they were talking about when the bands like Guns N' Roses were like that, those couple years, that era of music where that music really exploded. But there was a point where those bands weren't just metal anymore, where they were like, oh, you can throw a ballad in there. Like I forget what band it did. They did first. They threw a ballad, a very soft song in their album. And then everyone's like, oh, we can do that. Oh, it's actually like really popular. So every band like that started to throw a ballad in their album, and it just became like a trend. And for some reason, Neon, the sound that Neon has reminded me of that whole story of doing that. Had an 80s sound and sounded kind of ballady. Even though I was not alive in the 80s,
it's that intro.
Intro. Let me click on it.
Like at 11 seconds, like when the vocals come in. I get what you're saying. That is where like synthing your voice a little bit was really popular.
And especially at 24 when the actual, like the rest of the song comes in 24 seconds. It still got that dancey feel to it, but if you were to like if you were to like slow the drums down instead of being like
Yeah.
if it were like a slower pattern, I could totally see that. Yeah. Having even more of an effect.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So which ones, you said you had 4 favorites, and
Yes.
Spaceman was definitely one of them because
Yes.
you're singing along to it all the time.
Yeah.
Anything else about that one, or what were the
Yeah.
other?
So
what were the
one,
other
it
3?
always gets stuck in my head. I love the rhythm all the way through it. It's just, it like I just hit play and it, like, just like the tempo and like the way the beat just hits. It's like, I don't know how else to how to explain it, but like it hits like the rhythm just right, and I can't not move to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, yeah. And then at 2:12, Viva Elton John.
I don't think I caught that.
It's right before like the breakdown.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hear it.
And then this, yeah, so at 22 seconds is kind of a little taste of that like palm mute.
22 seconds, you said?
2:22. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, like right after Viva Elton John, you get that. Dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
And like stuff like that, I really enjoy, just because it's so, at least a lot of bands I listen to don't palm mute like that, where like everything just like cuts out for like this, just the brief, like not even a full second, but like to be able to be that,
like an 8th note.
Yeah, like that in sync to where it's just quiet, and then that next note just punches every single time.
Yeah. Yeah, they do that really well.
Yeah. Another one of my favorites was Pump It, sorry. I have like very few notes on any of these, just because they're all it's all kind of the same. It makes me want to move, and I feel like it's really well composed. Just like overall, like, I love the sound of it.
Doesn't sound cheesy, like they try too hard. Like it just sounds really natural. This is just the way that they write music.
Yeah. Yep. But at 2 minutes and 19 seconds, let me get there. I forget, because I love that workout mantra. Like something he said, I have to find it. Okay, so he says, and if you feel like your body's given up, you got to kill the pain and just pump it harder. And if you feel like the pain is getting real, then make your life goal to fucking kill it, to fucking kill that bitch. And not only do I like the lyrics there, because like they're just talking about working out.
Yeah.
And it kind of like gets you in the mood and like, you know what? Okay, I needed that. Like if you're in like the middle of a run and you're thinking about dying, like, and you hear that bit, like, okay, I got it. I can do this. But just like the drive on that guitar just like kind of like makes it hit. And then you have right after that breakdown, the dun 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 dun. It's, I put the chug on that guitar. Yeah, so like at 2:30 or something like that. Yeah, that just, it's so chuggy and chunky and heavy, and it's just like a nice little run that they do there. But still like kind of like upbeat and dancey. Like it's just I don't know how else to explain it. It's just fun.
Great energy.
Yeah. Another one of my favorites was I put this song is actually like a sweet song. Like if you listen to it lyrically, it's cute. Like he's talking about how he likes his girl, and yeah, he has a bad reputation of like being a fuckboy, or that's what everyone thinks about him. But he's like, I want to prove to you that I'm better than this. That I'm not just, that I'm not just a fuckboy. Like I want. He says, yeah, but I want to know that you. Okay, yeah, but I really want to know that you want me. I really want to show that I'm worth it because I know I'm better. I'm good for you. And then he says, yeah, everyone just thinks that I'm a fuckboy. And so there's that part. And then Conquer and I love the Conquer and Divide part when they came in.
Yeah, her voice fits in this song very well.
And then then once again, it's really sweet because then her response, because she's like writing the response, if you think of it as like a call and response type song where he's like saying like, ooh, I want you. And like, I'm not just like this scumbag. She says, calling me late, you're getting under my skin and you're showing up at my place for days. Well, I think I like that because you stay in my head where rent is free. You call my name and it hits differently. And then like, it's kind of like the whole question, but and then she says, I need to know, are you good for me? So it's just kind of like that. It's a sweet song. I like it. It's a good story.
Yeah. And I never went that deep into it. I always just heard the fuckboy word and like thought they were, I thought it was like putting somebody down, but now just, yeah, you're right. It is pretty uplifting.
Yeah. Yeah. I said the Conquer part was awesome, super sweet and a little dirty. And I was like, why was it? And I said, oh yeah, because I scrolled down and she said, I love to watch your eyes roll back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a little dirty still, but it's a sweet song.
And what I also really like about this one is how much of a guest spot they gave her. Like she's in most of the song and like a majority of it. Like she had like the lead singer is in the song for like the first minute and then she's there for like the next minute and a half alone. And then they both come back for the last like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sometimes bands they'll give like other guest vocalists like 2 lines to say and that's it.
Yeah, because
they really featured her.
It's just one of those things where it's like, a really good example of that is Falling in Reverse. The song Drugs features Corey Taylor in it, but he says he has like a 10-second part where he just like says a quick couple lines and then that's it. And it's like, dude, like you got me. Like I clicked on the song because I wanted to hear Corey Taylor, and so it's kind of one of those things where like, yeah, a lot of bands will like say, hey, do you want to like collab on work? And then say, here's 10 seconds of a 3-minute song. I liked this where it was kind of no, we're gonna duet this. Like it's gonna be an actual collaboration. Like I'm actually featuring you. Like you're just as big as in this song as I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what featuring should be. If you're going to feature somebody, they should be like side by side.
Yeah.
Not just a afterthought almost.
Kind of like the ultimate troll of Body Snatcher with Will Ramos.
Oh,
wasn't that them? Or was that a different band? We're like featuring Will Ramos. We're like,
but it was...
He was not in the song. He was just an actor in the video.
Yeah,
like,
he was just the actor in the video.
Okay, you got us.
Yeah, and granted, he was in the whole music video, but he was not in the song. And I think when you actually like reread the caption, it said video guest or something like that. And we're like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. But if you're just reading it quickly, it's kind of a whole... Haha, surprise. Gotcha.
Yeah, it was the way that they worded it. It was like official video featuring Will Ramos or something.
Yeah, it was something weird like
something
that.
Real clever that made us click on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So there's those three, and then Techno Train was fun.
So do you understand my text?
Yeah, now
No.
I do. It wasn't even like thinking about it, and then I was like, that sound like when you text me, it sounded familiar, but I was just like, what?
Because I texted Matt. We were talking about. I think I asked you, is 11 when we're recording? Is 11 a.m. okay tomorrow still? And you said yep. And I was like, you make my spaghetti ready, LOL. And then you text back, you're like, what's this about spaghetti? I'm like, it's from Electric Callboy.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it.
Oh man, that was I laugh every time that line comes up. But that whole song was great. Like talking about you make my spaghetti ready at like 1:51. Climax City is arriving earlier than expected. Sorry for any disappointment.
any loss of pleasure or something like that. Yeah. I think this is like a perfect representation of like, we're a serious band, but we're not that serious.
Yeah.
Take a ride on the techno train right now. Take your seat, open up, feel the pounding bass deep inside you. Shaky, shaky, sweaty, sweaty. You make my spaghetti ready. Like, okay, we know what you're talking about, but like I think that might be another, like what I like about this band is they kind of describe stuff in like that weird out of the box things. Like I've been known to describe things as.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, you're definitely talking about sex, but it's a techno train where there's also spaghetti, and there's something else that I saw.
Well, one of the lines that I'm looking at is the 69 EC service techno train on platform A, M, P, and V to Climax City is arriving ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
I never noticed the A, M, P, V line.
Yeah.
Part of it.
I got lipstick on my feet, licky, licky, sucky, sucky. Yeah, you make my lollipoppy candy time.
And the way they say it in the song too is so it like hits. It's so funny.
It's like good delivery.
Licky,
like
licky,
how did you not say that laughing?
How many takes did that take? And the way they say it is like a German electronic music sound. Licky, licky, sucky, sucky,
Yeah.
So much fun. There's some German overall, I think, in the album. Right?
Spaceman had Finch in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Who's I'm assuming a German rapper. Finch Garnen. Be my guess on who that is. Because he says Finch and Garden dir die Boxen Doc Ma off.
Yeah, if you click on his name, he's got 2.5 million monthly listeners, and he looks like he could fit an Electric Callboy based on his picture.
He looks like
what Electric Callboy dress up as in their videos.
He's wearing like in the picture down in the bio, he's wearing a flannel, a cut off flannel with a bandana, and all I think is like Kid Rock with like the long hair and stuff like that. And he has a mullet. Yeah. He just looks
fun. He fits right in.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we covered some of my favorites.
Within that.
I think the only other, so I had Fuckboy, Mind Reader, kind of talked about that earlier. Techno Train was fun. Neon was that 80s ballad sound kind of. Hurricane, I liked it. I think of the favorites, I think I liked it the least, but I think it was because of that when
The
towards the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the 1 minute mark where everything, it really turns into some crazy like death metal sounding stuff, but they do that choppy sound that you were talking about where they cut all the sound out.
Yeah, okay. Also, she's hungry, she's horny, she's longing for flesh. Oh, honey, I'm ready to die. Oh, you feast on my blood, my bones, my guts choke. She's the love of my life.
Oh, wow. I did not read those.
Right, as you said, yeah, they get into some death metal stuff. They might be poking
Necrotic
fun.
face.
Yeah, they might be poking fun at some
Cannibal Corpse, maybe.
yeah, like
Something.
some death metal stuff.
Yeah. And this one has German too.
Yep.
First half or so. So that one was fun. And I think the only other one was We Got the Moves.
I think I listened, honestly, I like this song. I think I listened to it too much when it came out. And I watched the music video too much, and I just kind of, I wasn't like over it, but I was like, yeah, I like this song. I don't need to like talk about it.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I don't have any notes for that one. It's just fun energy overall, pretty much.
The dope, dope. I love how the lyrics are like in German because they got the umlaut over the O's.
Oh man, that's so clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. They do that gang vocal really good too.
Oh, that da 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 da.
Because that's how Hypa started, so it reminds me of Hypa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all I got for
Same.
that one. So I'm giving it a 9. Because I had a lot of favorites. I liked all the songs. And like you said, it's kind of a mood band.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I probably could have given it a 10 or at least like a 9.8 if it had that like hypa type of song on there, which they came very close to getting, but still did not like turn, like didn't want me to give them like a penalty, like minus points for not having a song like that because of how good the rest of the songs were.
Yeah.
So what about you?
That. I'm right up there too. I was feeling a 9. It like I turned it on. I would listen to it pretty easily. Like it's only 30 minutes long, and the whole time I'm just like dancing, like and just it's a fun bit. There's a couple songs that I just kind of I got over a little bit quicker than some, so then I could just kind of like listen to like my favorites. But overall, I enjoyed the whole album. So, yeah,
for being my first Electric Callboy album,
it was my first Electric Callboy too.
Yeah, it's
just because I listened to them before they were electric.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's good start.
Good stuff.
All right, so we are moving on to Miss May I now. Curse of Existence. What do you think about this one?
I liked it. I only had 3 favorites, but I felt like it was pretty well like put together, and the lyrics, like some of I had some like I didn't write. I wish I would have wrote them down. I had some favorite lines in songs that weren't my favorites. I was like, ooh, I really like that line, but it wasn't like enough for me to be like, I love the song, you know? So it had a lot of like good one-liners. And like I said, it was, I felt like Miss May I really knows how to start off a song. I enjoyed a lot of like the intros to songs, like the first like 30 20 to 30 seconds, I felt were like pretty killer on a lot of the songs. Yeah.
I'm kind of the same way. I agree with you on that. I had 3 favorites as well.
Ooh, I wonder if they're the same.
That would be interesting. I don't think that's ever happened.
No.
Three song favorites as well. Not too many notes. I would say that of all the bands that I can really think of, maybe except for, I don't know, Ginger maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Maya is probably one of the only bands I can think of that has like stayed the most consistent over the years, I think, in terms of their sound.
Yeah.
Right? Like it hasn't changed too much. But like not in a bad way, right? Like just really like solid writing. Whenever I turn on a Miss May album, I pretty much know what I'm going to be getting. I know what to expect. And it's not something really crazy where they're where they're like a band that really has to have like a new album that is either evolving their sound or sounds completely different, or they're trying new things. They're really not that type of band that tries to do something different every time.
They found what they like and they're just like, we're going to stick to this.
Yeah, they're really good at it.
Yeah.
So I think that solidifies like their fan base, that they have those fans that just stay with them the whole, like die hard, you know?
Yeah. I haven't listened to them in a hot second. I'm sure they've come up on like, just like the random stuff that pops through and I just like don't realize it. But I went back and listened to like one song today. I was like just listening to the album real quick before we started recording, and I was like, I wonder like if they've like, it doesn't sound like they've changed it all, but I want to like check them out. So I like went back, I think to like 2012, one of their later albums, and just listened to it real quick, like a couple songs, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's exactly, and I was like, okay, that's why it's so familiar. It's pretty much exactly the same sound, but like not, like I said, like you said, not in a bad way.
Yeah. It's not like, same thing, here we go.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's just like, nice, another solid song.
Yeah. All right. So, and they're to kind of expand upon that point. They're solid, and I know what to expect, but at times it could get just a slightly monotonous, a little bit, because like you said, they found what they like and they do it well, which is true. But one of the notes I had is a lot of their songs have similar riffs, you know, even throughout their whole career, right? That I don't know how to do it with my mouth, but you know, like rhythms, like I might be able to pull something up, but like if you go to like Earthshaker, like that, like just the beginning of Earthshaker. Yeah. Those types of those types of guitar riffs, you know?
Yeah.
Very, very prevalent. They're obviously different throughout because they're different songs, but you might have like if I gave you a bunch of songs throughout Miss May I's career and put them on a playlist, you might think that they're all from the same album. Like I might have given you an album of theirs rather than like their whole career, you know, because of how similar they sound. So
I could believe that.
Just a note, just not a negative thing, just a note that I had, you know. So.
Yep.
All right. So what are your 3 favorites? I'm curious.
So the first was A Smile That Does Not Exist.
Okay.
Does that match one of yours?
It does not. You failed.
Oh, damn.
Failure.
Not off to a good start.
Yeah. So Smile. Okay.
So Smile. We'll just talk about it real quick, I guess. Then.
Okay.
I love the build up in the very beginning. I said it's gold. It just kind of like, I don't know, it kind of like builds, it just like, I don't know how to say it. Like they put the sound in your chest and then they release it all at the same time. Because that's like that, and then it just gets louder and you're just like, come on. And then he goes, and then like, woo. It's
almost like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was like, that's my feelings on it. Like,
it's one of those album openers to where like, if you're listening in your car, you're not sure how loud to start off the volume on, and you're like, it's like you like, because I've had those bands where, you know, like the beginning of this one, that fade in for the guitar doesn't last like too long, but there's been other bands where it's like the fade in lasts like 15 seconds instead of 5 seconds. You're like, oh yeah, it's getting louder. Oh, I got to turn it down. You know, you don't know how, you don't know where the volume is supposed to be. So yeah, that was that was a nice intro.
And then, so at 2:29, I love the drawn out chords that they do there. I have to remind myself on it. And just like how they hit a chord and then he's like still like screaming in the background. And then that part goes into another part of my favorites in the song is at 2:42. Just how crunchy and clanky like that breakdown is.
The clanky bass.
Yeah. It's just like the guitars are super crunchy and then like you just have that like clanky metal bass in the background. And I also just love the chorus of the song. I don't know if I can like click to it just right.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Yeah, just the...
Oh, wait, no, I clicked that. That's at the end of the song. 55.
Yeah, my obsession with the darkness in my reflection. I always see the worst in me. Breathe in, breathe out. Drown in self-doubt. It's always in your head, but it's only in your head. Just... Oh, there's another part. All I've known is the internal dismember, an unconscious survivor, apathetic to the point it's pathetic. And I was like, geez, like you're talking about me like 6 months ago, I feel like. It's just like
I'm right at that
song.
part.
Huh? Yeah,
I'm right at that part, yeah.
Yeah, like 129. But yeah, it's just like like I said, the lyrics are really good. I enjoyed it pretty much throughout, just catching like those little lines and thinking like, damn, like why you gotta hit me so hard?
Yeah, and one thing one thing I think that they did kind of change about their sound that I'm realizing is I think they went towards more of a catchy chorus singing thing, whereas I remember back in the day, maybe their first album, from what I remember, this is just my memory, I thought that the singing was never really like a catchy like chorus verse type of song structure. They had a similar sound, but I think their song structure may have changed a little bit, kind of here and there, very, very gradually. Yeah. I remember the singing being just added, to the song rather than it being like a chorus, type of thing. So
gotcha.
So
you'd say they kind of matured their sound. They didn't reinvent it; it just matured a little bit with like the song structure and whatnot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then I guess my second favorite would be Bleed Together.
That is one of mine.
Okay. All right. We're 50%.
Yeah, we almost had to have a talk afterwards.
Right. This was another one where I just love the intro. Okay. And just like that. No. and then just the fast guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? Like I just said, the clean vocals are great. And I know I said that like Electric Callboy was like kind of like the kings of palm muting. But at 2:46, I said, ugh, those palm mutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the down out. Just ooh. Gets me going. Like I just want to move.
Yeah, that feels really good.
Yeah. I think that's honestly what I was that part right there. I was just like listening, and that was the part of the song that made me stop what I was doing and hit the little heart as I heard that, and I said, ouch. Like, ooh.
That's a good sign for anybody that is just tuning in, that when Matt's doing something and that song makes him stop doing what he's doing, that's a good sign.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Usually. I've had some where I'm just like, no. like there's
oh, I got to stop and turn this off.
Yeah, nothing for like the podcast, but there's been times when like I'm on random just shuffling through things and I'll hear something and I go, ugh. I'm not going to listen to that anymore.
Yeah, there have definitely been times where I've clicked on songs and it's like 3 seconds in. I'm like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah. So what did you like about Bleed Together?
I think mainly the chorus. I think that one got stuck in my head the most. Like right at 40, 42. I think for these guys, not only the guitar tone really stays in my head and how tight all the instruments are together. It almost sounds like one instrument. And then like the catchiness of some of these choruses is really what did it for me on this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my only note that I have for that one. Chorus stuck in my head.
Fair. And then my second, hopefully I said this is my third, hopefully your second favorite would be Free Fall.
Free Fall was a favorite of mine.
All right, 66%. I'll take it.
Yes, we're 2 for 3. Closest we've ever been.
Yeah. No, that's not true.
I know.
I think this must have been like another one where I just kind of like the end of it and whatnot. But at 2:38, those pitch bends is what I put. I'm gonna get there. Yeah, just
2:38. That guitar.
Yeah, I guess it'd be like the whole breakdown where that darn it.
Very atmospheric.
Mm-hmm.
It adds a lot of depth and layer to it.
Yeah. I said it's just a wonderful way to end a song, in my opinion. Like it's not super like brutal heavy, but it's like it's heavy and kind of like you said, it's atmospheric with that fast like guitar over top of it. But I just felt like, I know those were my only notes on the song, but I enjoyed that song just as a whole together as well.
Mm-hmm. This one is very uplifting for me. This seems very just almost like heavenly or something. Very big. Like seems bigger than the rest of the songs from what I remember. And I just like you said with that guitar, it just has another extra layer to it that really makes it stand out compared to the rest of them.
Yeah.
So my other favorite is Into Oblivion.
Okay.
One of the things I really liked about it was the riff at 38 seconds.
Okay.
And not only that, but when at like 51 seconds, the pace of the song changes, even though the guitar riff stays the same, but the rhythm of like the drums changes the feel of the song.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as fast.
Yeah.
Like you said, the guitar is still keeping the same tempo. It's just definitely a lot more, the feel of it is slower. You don't feel as rushed.
Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things I like the most about this song is if you'll remember in the past, I've said when bands are writing a melody for the chorus, and what really sticks out to me is a note that they'll land on that kind of gives me goosebumps. So the line, the way that he said, like around like 105-ish, when it leads into the line, falling so far behind, the way he hits that far behind note is kind of what can give me chills sometimes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed that part too. I think I almost clicked on this one as a favorite because I think I was just behind like the searching for a way to feel anything, and I'm barely getting by. I feel like it had that same like landing on the right note, like you said, for the behind.
And they imitate that. If you go to 120, he imitates that same kind of vocal, that interval.
Yeah.
But they do that like walkie-talkie kind of voice. They kind of filter his voice a bit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of in the background. So I like when what's the musical term I'm looking for? That, I don't know, interval or motif or something gets imitated again.
Gotcha.
But in a different way, you know?
Yeah.
So that was nice. I like that.
Cool. Then you have one more?
No, I had Bleed Together, Into Oblivion, Freefall.
That's right.
One more note about Into Oblivion at 212. I said I like the chords in that section.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good. Good stuff.
Yeah. So overall, pretty solid. I like them as of having, a really long career, over a decade at least. And just kind of staying true to their sound and having a really solid fan base that can know what to expect, and they're not trying to, stray away too far from that. I like both sides. I don't mind when a band evolves and has a different sound, but I also can appreciate a band that stays true to what they really started out as. So.
Okay. And just I guess reiterate on what you were saying with the intro, Forgive and Forget, off of their first album. Because mainly I just wanted to see how long they've been around, 2009. But Forgive and Forget has that guitar rhythm that you were talking about. That it just kind of like that sound that they like to do.
Right at the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but, yeah, I enjoyed it. What, did you give it a number? I'm sorry.
No, I didn't. I was thinking 7.5.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, no, sorry, I'm not used to doing this at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, we were yawning throughout the whole, right before we were recording, like back and forth, just trading yawns.
Yeah, no, it's, I enjoyed it. I'll definitely be listening to it again. At least my favorites and going through and whatnot. I was thinking, oh man, it's not quite an 8, is it?
Yeah, I didn't feel that
But
way to me.
But it's not like 70.
Right.
Yeah, so
Still solid.
It's like, yeah, it's solid, but they're just like something's off, something's missing. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna go 7.5. I enjoyed it a lot. I'll listen to it again. If it comes on, I probably won't skip it. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what would we don't really necessarily have to answer this like really, but more of like a rhetorical question. I'm wondering what would make a Miss May I album like a 9 or a 9.5 for me. What could they do? Because like they're solid, right? Like we mentioned many times. But I'm just curious as to what could they do to elevate it to that, like, 10 out of 10 status or get close to that. And I don't know.
Maybe they do need to switch it up a little bit.
Think so?
Maybe. That's the only thing I can think of, because it's like we said, their sound has stayed pretty solid. Their song structure, they might have switched up just a little bit and matured that. So maybe they just need, or maybe like change the tonation on the guitars. Different effects. I don't know.
Maybe like a slow song, like a with like clean guitar. Because like I think, because I think a lot of their songs, like I said, they kind of have like all the similar riffs and stuff. So maybe it's a subtle thing of not having the same like those types of riffs. Maybe changing those up a bit. Maybe like making it a little choppier. Maybe throwing in a ballad. Maybe making a song that like has, I don't know, all singing or like all screaming only, instead of kind of having that predictable song structure that they have. So maybe it's a bunch of subtle things that they need to do.
Maybe.
Yeah. But I'm still always going to click on them.
Yeah, it's good.
In the future. Anything else?
No, I'm just like clicking through to see if they've done anything. I think the closest thing that they might have done is Relentless Chaos, maybe. That started off completely different. They got like clean vocals going on in the beginning there.
I don't know where I could find that. Which
Monument album, 2010. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Right. I'll cut out all that dead sound.
Yeah.
Make a little marker there.
Yeah, I was just like sitting there like in the song trying to figure out if this is what they were missing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you've got nothing else, I think we can wrap it up there.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
See you.